We're live. Yo, what's up, Mega Flint? What's up, man? Um, what's up? All right. Just give me a minute. We're gonna get started, man. We're gonna get started. We're gonna go in. Uh, hmm. Boom. Okay. Boom. L. Boom. All right. We're gonna get started in a little bit. Okay. Um. Boom. Okay. We good. All right. We gon' So I decided to come on here because we were supposed to do World Room predictions last night, and all this Vince McMahon stuff got in the way of everything. So I had to come on here last night and talk about the whole Vince McMahon thing, and I had to read the whole, well, not the whole document, but I read half of that document. Um, so yeah, man, appreciate everyone who came out yesterday to listen to it. So yeah, and if you did listen to it today, if you didn't make it to the stream last night, if you did listen to it today, then I highly appreciate y'all, man. So yeah. But today we're gonna talk about Royal Rumble predictions. We're gonna go over the Slim Jim pulling their sponsorship from WWE, which could be the beginning of the end for Vince McMahon. So yeah. Then we got the Royal Rumble predictions. I got an update on Mercedes and Okada. So yeah. So yeah, it's been 4 years since Kobe Bryant passed away. Oh yeah, man. Rest in peace, Kobe, man, for real. It's been 4 years, man, and Gigi. So yeah, man. Rest in peace to those. Rest in peace to Kobe and Gigi. Long live them, man. Long live them. So yeah. We're gonna get some more people in here. When we hit like the 10-minute mark, we'll get started. Or the 5-minute mark, depending on how many we got in here. If we got 5 in 5 minutes, then yeah, we got 4 likes. Okay. We go ahead and get started. So yeah, guys, this is the World Rumble 2024 predictions. You know what I would think will happen. A little fancy booking right here and there for the future. So yeah, Mercedes and Okada update. We got the Slim Jim partnership, pulling their partnership from the Royal Rumble, so that could come into play because of the whole Vince McMahon thing. So yeah, we can talk about that, and then that's really it. So I'm trying to have you guys out of here by 5:30, because you know you gotta come and take a little take a little break before we come back on here tonight for SmackDown. So we're gonna be back on here tonight for SmackDown. So yeah, but man, the Slim Jim is pulling their sponsorship from the WWE Royal Rumble. Russell Votes is reporting that Slim Jim has told WWE that they will be pulling their sponsorships from the Royal Rumble Premium for the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Slim Jim and WWE were doing a viral campaign on social media leading up to the show featuring the New Day attempting to find the missing Slim Jim car. No reason was given for Slim Jim pulling out, but given the timing of this after the news about the sex trafficking lawsuit filed against WWE and Vince McMahon, the natural assumption is that this is the reason why Slim Jim made their decision, and one has to wonder if more sponsors are considering doing the same. Hell yeah, they should consider it. They should consider doing the same. As is Ryan, it's unclear if Slim Jim will remain partners with WWE in the future. So sponsorships could be coming in. They can start pulling left and right. I think Sneakers is sponsored by WWE, so they might be pulling Sneakers. More and other more sponsors might be pulling some sponsors sponsors from WWE C4, so they could be losing money. So if this is another way of getting Vince out of the company, then I'm all down for it because he's got to go. He's got to go. If these sponsorships are coming in and pulling stuff from WWE and backing out of it, it's like we ain't doing this no more. We can't do this right now. We need to step back. If this is another pull, another move to get Vince McMahon out of the company and to wipe the slate clean, erase him, get him out of there, then I'm all here for it. Pulling all these sponsorships and all that stuff. Vince is causing the company to lose money, guys. He is causing the company to lose money. The company is losing money because of him, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's plain and simple. All these sponsorships need to start pulling away from WWE, so that way it gets through TKO and Endeavor. Hey, this guy has to get up out of here because he can't be here no more. He can't be here no more. He can't be in the shadows. He can't be in the woods no more. He can't be in the bushes. You got to get him out of there. If Slim Jim is pulling some sponsorships, you know what that means. You know that, hey, you got this lawsuit, you got this sexual and all this sex trafficking. We got to get Vince out the company. You wonder why his wife left, guys. You wonder why his wife, not his wife, why his daughter left. You don't think Stephanie was finding out all the things that he was doing? She knew that her father was a no good son of a bitch, and I'm telling you that right now. Now Triple H would have walked out and he would have left the company. That would have got a lot of people talking even more. Okay, his daughter left the company, and now his son-in-law is leaving the company. Something ain't right. Stephanie knew she had to get up out of there. She knew she had to get up out of there. And this is they don't want to be around him. His kids don't want to be around him. His wife, they've been separated for at least 20 some years. They've been separated. They've been separated. But they can't come out in public. But Vince doesn't want Linda filing for divorce, because if Linda files for divorce, then you know what that means. It gives him bad publicity, and then it gets everybody talking, and then Vince knows it's gonna come back and harm him if Linda files for divorce. And so Vince has to do everything in his power to prevent Linda from filing that divorce. Because, like I said, if Linda goes in there and files for divorce, Vince knows his game. Vince knows he's cooked. So that's why Linda can't. That's why Linda's not filing for divorce. I wish she would though. But Vince gotta do what the devil does. He's gotta do what the villain does. He's gotta make sure everything in his power so Linda doesn't go in there and file that divorce. Because if Linda goes in there and file that, let me tell you this one more time. If Linda goes in there and files for that divorce, he lose he lose half of his money, which I don't I which obviously happens every time you go through a divorce. Either that guy or that girl will get half of your money. So if she goes in there and files for the divorce, she gets half, and then it comes out as bad publicity, and then and it's gonna haunt him. It is going to haunt him. So that's what. But Linda, she can't go out and she can't file for the divorce, even though she deep down she wants to. What's good, Steve-Os? What's good, Steve-Os? Jeffrey, what's up? What's up? What's up? I'm about to get into that in a little bit. So yeah. So Slim Jim pulling their sponsorship from WWE. More sponsors should consider doing that. More sponsors should um more sponsors should consider doing that. Andrew Claudio, what's up? Hi, Alex, how are you? I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. How about you? What do you think about Brock Lesnar canceled in the Royal Rumble in WrestleMania 40? Good, get him out of there. He doesn't need to be on the show anyway. Get him out of there. Don't have any career plans for him because fuck him too. He's a piece of shit. He's no good. And I say what I say. You know. And you want to why Brock Lesnar walked out of the company at the same time Vince did, because that was one of Vince's golden boys. So yeah. All right, we got some updates on Okada and Mercedes Monet. Okay. By the way, happy birthday to Mercedes Monet. She turned 32 years old today. So happy birthday to Mercedes Monet. It's all about the Monet. Happy birthday to her. So yeah. We've heard much of the same as Wrestler Observer regarding Okada, and as of now, AW appear confident they'll land him. Yada yada yada. Those we spoke to in TNA said that Naomi indicated that she was going back to WWE before she left and had mentioned the Royal Rumble. Okay, so you could potentially see Naomi in the Royal Rumble tomorrow. So yeah. When we asked a WWE source about the possibility of Mercedes Monet in the Royal Rumble, one not really interested in contract tampering with her, so I doubt it. You know, and these are all coming from Fightful Celeb, by the way. These guys they said the same thing about CM Punk. Oh, CM Win and CM Punk. CM Punk ain't coming to Survivor Series. He ain't coming back to WWE. And look what happened. He showed up at Survivor Series. This is basically the same thing with Mercedes and CM Punk. Oh, we ain't really interested in Mercedes. She's not coming back to the company. And now she pops up in the Royal Rumble, then she gonna break the internet. I'll tell you that for real. But she could go to WWE. She could go to AEW. I don't care. I'm just ready to stop all these rumors. I just want to get the woman on my TV. For real though, I'm just tired of waiting. For real, and like I'm not really believing anything until I hear that Mercedes Monet theme music from outside WWE, or I hear Sky's the limit. So I'm not believing anything until she shows up. So I'm just doing this. I'll believe it when I see it. So yeah. Some of the WWE is filming for upcoming A&E features in Tampa. Some of the Royal Rumble rehearsals were yesterday. And we got someone asked about MJF in the Royal Rumble. There were untrue rumors that picked up saying that MJF and Tony Khan had a falling out this past week. MJF is still recovering from injuries, and barring some catastrophic miracle, he will not be in the. Why do y'all think MJF will be in the Royal Rumble? Come on now. MJF has re-signed with AEW. Now, if I get it wrong, I got it wrong. But more than likely, he re-signed with the company. He re-signed with AEW. He's not going to be in the Royal Rumble, guys. So, yeah, let's get that out of our heads. MJF is not going to be in the Royal Rumble. Oh, man. Y'all crazy. Y'all is real crazy. But Okada, whether he goes to WWE or AEW, I just don't care where he goes. Like, I just want him to be happy. And I just want to see him on my TV shining, okay? So, yeah. And, Tony Khan put out a tweet saying 2024 AEW will be the next 2021 AEW. Now, to me, that kind of indicates, oh, snap. Okay, so he might have landed Okada and he might have landed Mercedes. But we don't know yet. Now, there's plenty of things that Okada and Mercedes can do in AEW. Definitely Mercedes, because she's wrestling a new crop of women. She's not going back to WWE to wrestle the same people that she wrestled for the past 5 years. She'll probably, if Mercedes is going to AEW, this is what I can see her doing. She's probably going to do a 3-year stint in AEW, probably a 2 to 3 year deal in AEW. My prediction is Mercedes will definitely finish her career in WWE. That's the end goal. When the time she's about to hang it up, I believe she will finish her career in WWE. But maybe she wants to go to AEW, try some new things in the women's division, and then once her time is up in AEW, she'll come back to WWE to finish off her career. That's how I see things playing out. Now, could she come back to WWE at the moment? Could she return tomorrow? Yes. But if she doesn't come to WWE tomorrow night, then my senses are saying she's probably headed to AEW by Revolution time, because we're in pay-per-view season for AEW. We're building up towards Revolution, so she could pop up at any time. And Deonna Purrazzo and Toni Storm is happening at Revolution. Julia Hart versus Thunder Rosa more than likely is going to be the TBS title program. So she could pop up doing any one of those two segments. She could be going for the world title against Toni Storm. Preferably, she should beat her if that's the case. Or she could pop up doing Julia Hart and Thunder Rosa at Revolution. Who knows? But there's many crop of women that she can wrestle down at AEW. You have a Deonna. You got Toni Storm. You got Serena Deeb, who's coming back tomorrow, having her first match in 2 years. You got Jamie Hayter making her way back to the company around February Revolution time. So yeah, you got Jamie Hayter making her way back to the company. You got Sky Blue. You got Julia Hart. You have Thunder Rosa, who just came back. You have plenty of women that she can work with. Now, down in WWE, she can work with, what are you going back to WWE for? You going to go back to WWE to work with, no offense, you going back to WWE to work with Mia Yim? She's already wrestled majority of these women. Are you going to go back and wrestle the same women that you've been wrestling for the past 5 years? Are you going back to wrestle? You going back to WWE to wrestle with Dakota Kai? Now, granted, I want to see that match one day, but maybe not right now. Maybe she doesn't want to do that. She's looking at the women's division in WWE, and she's probably thinking, I already wrestled half of these women. I do not want to go back and wrestle the same women that I was wrestling for the past 5 to 6 years. I want to go try something new. I never wrestled Jamie Hayter. I never wrestled Hikaru Shida. I never wrestled Thunder Rosa. I never wrestled Deonna Purrazzo. I never wrestled Toni Storm, I believe. I never wrestled Britt Baker. I never wrestled Serena Deeb. I never wrestled who else can I think of? I never wrestled Sky Blue. I never wrestled Julia Hart. So maybe she wants to go down to AEW and try those things and try these new people out. now, and this will force Tony Khan to make his women's division better. He can't go on social media and book and announce these women's matches. He cannot do that. That's what I was making my rant on Wednesday, because he paired Thunder Rosa up with Red Velvet, and they both, that match was so bad because you put those two women in the ring, and they haven't wrestled. They both have ring rust, and they haven't wrestled in damn near a year and a half, almost 2 years. So obviously that match was going to be clunky, and obviously that match was going to suck because you put those two in the ring together, and they both have ring rust. You need to put these women with workers who are currently active. You don't need to be putting these two together in a ring, and they both having ring rust. That's why the match wasn't good, because both of those ladies got ring rust, and they haven't wrestled in a year, almost a year and a half. So you can't be putting those two together. You can't be putting Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb up against each other right now, because they both got ring rust. And Thunder Rosa mentioned, and I follow her on Instagram. I was watching one of her Instagram stories. Thunder Rosa mentioned that her back pain is getting, less and less and less. So obviously, she's still gonna have some lingering effects. So, still, trying to get back in that in-ring shape and all that other kind of stuff. So it's gonna take a minute to get back into that in-ring shape. So for a little bit, she might be a little sluggish. So she's got to get some more matches on her belt, and then, I would say around the spring, summertime, she's really gonna start cooking. That's my prediction. And the same thing with Serena Deeb. You got to throw her with active workers who have been active, and not people who have been out for a year and a year plus and 6 to 7 months with injuries. You can't do that. You need to get Serena Deeb some reps on a weekly basis. Get her some weekly reps, and then around the spring and the summer, she's gonna start cooking. The same thing with Jamie Hayter. You can't just be throwing her in there with these ring rust workers. You gotta throw her in there with active workers who have been active consistently on a consistent basis. You can't just throw her in there with a Thunder Rosa, because you gotta remember, Thunder Rosa's been out for a year. So you can't just throw her in there with Thunder Rosa and etc., because they have both got rust in them, and it's not going to be good. And you wonder why your matches are clunky and they look sloppy, because you're throwing these people in the ring who have ring rust in a match together, and it doesn't work. And it's like in sports, you can't go crazy with these athletes in their first game back from injury. And I'm gonna use an example, for my Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud, he missed 2 games with a concussion. He came back in that game against the Tennessee Titans at home, a game that we needed to win to keep our playoff hopes alive, which we did win. Bobby Slow our offensive coordinator. He did a good job of missing the run in the pass, not doing anything too crazy with CJ. He was missing up run and missing up pass, and that's what you got to do. And CJ Stroud had a good game, had a good comeback game. He didn't have to do much. He didn't have to go crazy. We was putting up like 20 points before halftime, and the Titans only scored 3 points that whole game. See, that's a good game plan. So for Tony Khan and all these other promoters, if you're bringing back these wrestlers from injury, you need to set a game plan. You need, put these guys and put these girls in the ring with some of the workers who have been active. Get them back in that in ring shape, get them back in that ring mode, and that way they can get in their bag in the next couple months. I'm like, all right, I'm feeling good now. I got in the ring with that person, that person, that person. Okay, I'm feeling good. I don't have that ring rust in me no more. So yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to cook. So yeah. Okada, on the other hand, there's plenty of stuff for Okada to do. But I know you guys are fantasy booking, but you can't just throw him in matches with Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega is recovering from that. He's got that illness. He needs to recover from it. So the same thing for Kenny Omega. You need to set up a solid game plan for Kenny Omega when he comes back. You need to get him back in that ring shape. Put him in there against a Willa Yuta or someone like that, put him in there and get some scrubs. Give him 5 to 10 minutes. Then bam, okay, I can get back in there with an Okada. I can get in there with a Will Ospreay. I can get in there with a Jay White. I can get in there with a Pac. Pac's got to do the same thing too. You need to set a game plan, because if you don't set a game plan, and these reps are looking sluggish, then you're gonna fail them, and you don't want that for your talent. And the same thing goes for Dakota Kai. When she gets back, you can't just throw her in there with you can't just throw her in there with you can't throw her in there with I'll throw an example. You can't throw Sonya Deville and Dakota Kai together in the ring. You can't do that because they're both recovering from injuries. And that ring rust is gonna show for it. It's gonna be clunky. It's not gonna be good. So you need to throw her in there, get her in there with a medium, and then you can get her in there with a Katana Chance, or you can get her in there with a Chelsea Green. Get her in there and get some scrubs for a little bit, and then in the next couple months she's gonna start cooking, and I believe she'll be the world champion this year anyway. That's my bold prediction. She'll be the world champion this year. We'll get into that later, but yeah, you can't just throw it in there with scrubs left and right, left and you got. I can't talk. You gotta throw her in there with the people that's been active. You need to throw her in there with active workers. You don't need to throw two people that's coming off injuries together in the ring. That's the moral of the story. That's all I'm saying. So I hope you guys understand where I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. So yeah. But Okada, wherever he goes, I'll support him. Wherever Mercedes go, I'll support him. But it's just interesting to see where they're gonna go. So, we're not I'm just gonna chill. I'm just gonna watch the shows until that coin drops for Okada, and until that music hits for Mercedes. That chin chin and the Mercedes crank up, and then or the sky's the limit. We'll see what happens. So it's very interesting to see how these next couple weeks are gonna play out, how tomorrow's gonna play out, and how these next couple weeks are gonna play out. So yeah, um, I did not mean to call her a scrub. My bad. Yeah, but let's get into these Royal Rumble predictions, man. We're gonna go into the least matches. Um, so we're gonna go into Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship. I think Logan Paul retains here against Kevin Owens. I don't see Kevin Owens being Logan Paul. I think Logan Paul should retain here, and then we build up a program between LA Knight versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania, with LA Knight taking the United States Championship off of Logan Paul. That should be the game plan. The game plan: get Logan Paul to retain against Kevin Owens, and then you build up LA Knight versus Logan Paul for WrestleMania, and that's how LA Knight gets his first championship. I agree. It's too early for Logan to lose the belt. The latest he should lose the belt is at WrestleMania against LA Knight. If all this stuff doesn't get to LA Knight versus Logan Paul, then I don't know what we're doing. So the game plan should be LA Knight versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania, and we should be getting LA Knight taking the United States Championship off of Logan Paul, in my honest opinion. Or another scenario: Carmelo Hayes versus Logan Paul, and we should be getting Carmelo Hayes taking the championship off of Logan Paul at WrestleMania. So that's two game plans that you can go with right then and there. So yeah, so that's two game plans right there. So both plans will work. So we'll have to see what happens. All right, next up, Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton versus AJ Styles versus LA Knight. A fatal four-way match for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. I think Roman Reigns is going to retain. I don't see Roman Reigns dropping the title. The latest I see Roman Reigns dropping the titles is at WrestleMania. Roman Reigns should retain this. Should retain, unfortunately. Even though I don't want to see him with the titles no more. He's not going to lose them before WrestleMania. Roman Reigns will retain those titles. Now, who's taking the pin? Oh, that's tough. It's either going to be AJ Styles or LA Knight taking the pin. So yeah, I hope they don't. I hope they didn't book this I hope they don't book this just because they don't want Roman. Because if Roman's losing tomorrow night, which a 1% chance he won't. There's a 1% chance. So chance of Roman Reigns losing on slim to none. So if Roman Reigns goes in there and he doesn't get pinned, then that would kind of be awkward before WrestleMania. And I see a lot of booking ideas saying, "Oh, it should be Cody Rhodes versus The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania." God no. Thank God you're not booking the show. Because are you gonna do? Because who's eating the pin? You're only booking that because you don't want because Roman wouldn't eat the pin. That's the only reason you're booking that. So who's gonna pin who? Is The Rock gonna pin Cody Rhodes, or is Cody Rhodes gonna pin The Rock? And plus, it's kind of that kind of ruins the whole finish the story vibe for Cody. Like, bro, this is supposed to be between me and Roman, and his cousin is and his cousin is involved in this. Like, no, because I would feel the same way. Like, bro, I'm supposed to go in there 1-on-1 against Roman, and this man got his cousin involved. Like, no, bro, what is we doing? That's a dumb idea. It's Cody versus Roman or bust. Cody versus Roman needs to close night 2 of WrestleMania. Now, how does Cody get there? It's pretty simple. Cody goes in the Elimination Chamber because that use the Elimination Chamber. The winner goes and faces Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Cody goes and wins the Chamber, and bam, that's your match right there. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, night 2 for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championships at WrestleMania night 2. And then you do The Rock versus Roman Reigns at the Elimination Chamber if you still want to do that match. Who knows? But you don't. But you stick to the plan. You don't mess it up. You don't mess up the plan. You stick to it, gang. You stick to it. So Roman Reigns should go in there and should retain. Either AJ Styles or LA Knight is going to take the pin. Me personally, I think AJ's. I think one of them is going to take the pin. I don't know who, so we'll have to see. But me personally, I think AJ Styles versus Nick Aldis is going to be set up for WrestleMania, or either Randy Orton versus Nick Aldis would be set up for WrestleMania. Nick Aldis, I believe Nick Aldis will have a match at WrestleMania against either Randy Orton or AJ Styles. So that's the next game plan. So yeah. Or do it at WrestleMania 41 without the title if The Rock is okay with it. Yeah. Women's Royal Rumble match. Okay. All right. So we got multiple scenarios for the Royal Rumble because it's unpredictable, both for men's and women's. There are multiple scenarios for this. The first scenario, you go to the Damage Control storyline with Bayley, Dakota, and Io. Asuka and Kairi hasn't really. They're a tag team, so obviously they're going after the tag team titles. Do they win tonight? I don't know. We'll have to see. So, Asuka. No, not Asuka. So Bayley. Bayley can go in there and win the Royal Rumble if she can go on to WrestleMania. They think she's gonna now Io, Dakota, Asuka, and Kairi. They think she's gonna challenge Rhea Ripley, but there's a swerve, and Bayley said, "No, fuck all that. I'm challenging Io." And then it starts, and then she gets kicked out of Damage Control, and then it's Bayley versus Io. Kind of like Batista did the way did the Triple H. Bayley pretends she's gonna face Rhea Ripley, and then Bayley tricks the whole Damage Control, saying she wants Io, and then the whole brawl breaks out. I don't know. I'll have to see what happens, but I hope Dakota Kai can get cleared and come back tomorrow. If she gets cleared, she could, she could be playing, but she's gaslighting her, obviously. She could be playing Bayley, and Dakota tries to eliminate Bayley and tries to set her up. She tries to eliminate Bayley, but it backfired on Dakota, and she gets eliminated by Bayley. And maybe the final four can come down to Dakota, Bayley, Becky, and Nia. Those could be the final four. Dakota tries to set up Bayley, tries to eliminate her, and it backfires on Dakota, and Bayley eliminates Dakota. That could be another cool scenario, and that could be the way of Bayley winning. So Bayley that's the scenario number one is Bayley. So that's scenario number one. You can have Dakota try to eliminate Bayley, and then Bayley didn't fall for the bullshit, so she eliminates Dakota, and that can start the whole getting kicked out of damage control the next week on SmackDown or something along those lines. And then you can set up Dakota versus Bayley at the Elimination Chamber. And there's talks that, me personally, I'm gonna say yes. I think she is. Because you saw her. Did you see her get in the ring on Monday Night Raw? You're not supposed to get in the ring while physicality was going on. I thought you wasn't supposed to get in the ring while physicality was going on, Dakota. You're not slick. But yeah. So scenario number one is Bayley, Dakota, Becky, and Nia could be the final four in the Royal Rumble. So Dakota tries to sneak in, eliminate Bayley, backfires. Bayley eliminates Dakota. It sets up for the next week. For Bayley to get kicked out of damage control. Then it sets up a match with Bayley and Dakota at Elimination Chamber. Now, some people are calling for a damage control triple threat match at WrestleMania. So this is what you do. If you want a damage control triple threat match at WrestleMania, this is what you do. So Bayley's the Royal Rumble winner, right? At the Elimination. So you go to Elimination Chamber. So you do Bayley versus Dakota Kai. Now, the only way Dakota Kai can get herself into the match with Bayley and Io is if she beats Bayley. So basically, got to put something on the line. If Dakota wins, she gets herself into the match at WrestleMania. If you lose, it's just one-on-one between Bayley and Io. So Dakota wins that Elimination Chamber, right? And then you go to WrestleMania 40. It's Dakota versus Bayley versus Io for the women's title. And then, I'm sorry, I know I'm a mark. Call me a mark. I don't care. But I can see this happen. Dakota, Bayley, and Io for the women's title at WrestleMania 40. And Dakota gets the win. She gets the women's title. She finally does it. She gets the women's title from Io. Maybe, what if Dakota's plan all along was to get the title from Io? What if that was her plan all along, to get the title off of Io and steal the title from Io? What if that was her plan all along? Have you guys ever know that? She's tricking Io into getting herself a title shot. You ever thought of that? So that could be the next. That could be another swerve. She tricked Io, and she go in there. She takes the title off of Io, and she's the biggest heel in the company. She stole the title. That could be another move, because this is a bold take. I believe she will be the world champion by the end of this year. By the end of this year, she'll be the world champion. Trust. If this happens, you can come back to me and say I was right. Or we can keep Bayley versus Io one-on-one. And if you want Dakota to be on the show, be a part of something, because Asuka and Kairi will probably be the tag team champions at WrestleMania. it kind of would be a dick move to leave Dakota out of something. So if you want Dakota to do something on the show, you can book Naomi versus Dakota at WrestleMania in a one-on-one match. I mean, that would be something. Or if Mercedes comes back, she teams with Bayley, and they face the Kabuki Warriors for the tag team titles, and Dakota gets Io at WrestleMania. That would be something too. That can work. Any of these scenarios could work, to be honest. So it can be Dakota and Io at WrestleMania, but Dakota has to win the Royal Rumble. So that's scenario number 2. So we went over scenario number 1. Now scenario number 2. This is a bold take. I like to get high. I like to get this thing high and spice up here. Y'all might ridicule me, but the second scenario could be Dakota Kai. I am picking Dakota Kai as the second scenario to win the Royal Rumble. She gets in there, plain and simple. Bayley thinks now they can play the scenario. So, Dakota's in the Rumble. She gets knocked out for a little bit. She rolls out of the ring. So technically, she was never eliminated. So Dakota could be very sneaky. You don't trust, guys. I'm telling you right now, do not trust Dakota Kai. I'm telling you right now. So Dakota gets knocked out. She rolls out of the ring. And then Bayley throws Becky out, or Nia out. She throws the last person out. Bayley thinks she won the match. Dakota sneaks in, eliminates Bayley. And the match is over. And that's how Dakota Kai wins the Royal Rumble. She gets knocked out for a little bit. Bayley throws the last person out. She thinks she won the match, but Dakota sneaks in, kind of like a Shawn Michaels-esque ending. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like a Shawn Michaels-esque ending. I think it was it the British Bulldog? One of them thought he won the Royal Rumble, and then Shawn Michaels came in and threw the guy out. And so yeah. So Bayley pretends she won the Rumble. Nobody else is in the ring. She's the only one left standing. Dakota sneaks back in the ring, throws Bayley out, and that's it. And Bayley's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Yo." And she's going up to the referees like, "Yo, I was the only one left standing." And then the referees, they tell Bayley, "Yo, Dakota was never eliminated, bro. I'm sorry." And Dakota would be the biggest heel in the fucking division. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Simple. You want this girl to get heel heat, bro? You want this girl to get some heel heat? You pull that shit off. And I'm telling you right now, she would be the biggest heel in the women's division right now if they was to pull that off. So that's the second scenario. Then you can go on and you can do Dakota versus Io at WrestleMania for the title, and Dakota can beat her. Or you can add Bayley, make it a triple threat. So yeah. I mean, just pay me, man. Just pay me. I'm giving you some ideas. So I'm giving y'all I just gave y'all 2 scenarios. Because the Rumble's so unpredictable. Like, I'll be okay if Bayley wins it. I'll be okay if Dakota wins it. Now, here's a third scenario. I don't want to say this because I don't want to see her win it. But Becky Lynch. That's the third scenario. Third scenario is Becky Lynch. I know I probably pissed off a lot of Liv Morgan fans, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I just don't see Liv Morgan winning the Royal Rumble. I just don't see it. Like, I don't see WWE going in there and booking Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. I just don't see WWE doing that. I think they would. I think if Liv Morgan came back, I think WWE would run Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley at the Elimination Chamber. That's my honest opinion. That's what I think WWE would do. I think WWE would honestly run Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley at the Elimination Chamber in Australia. And I'm sorry for all you Liv Morgan fans, but she's going to be fed to Rhea Ripley. I'm sorry. I just can't see it. I just don't see her winning the Royal Rumble. I'm sorry. You think WWE is going to book Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 40? No, WWE is going to go with Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 40. If you want this to be the best WrestleMania women's wise, you got to go with what's going to make the most money and what's going to draw. So the third scenario will be Becky Lynch. I don't want to see her win, but honestly, I won't be surprised if they gave it to her. So yeah. This is legitimately, I can legit see Bayley winning. I can legit see Dakota winning. If not, then if she doesn't win, then Bayley's gonna pass. Guys, be patient. Bayley is going to pass the torch to Dakota at SummerSlam. She's gonna be the women's champion. Just mark my words. She's gonna be the women's champion this year. Mark my words. Liv is great, and she's not winning. If she did, I would be happy. Now, if Liv wins, then I wouldn't have a problem with it. But I'm just seeing the way WWE sees it. I don't think WWE will let Liv win the Rumble. I don't think she's gonna win it. So that's why I didn't put her in. That's why I didn't put her in any scenario. I only come up with 3 scenarios. So yeah. So the third scenario is Becky Lynch, which I don't want to see happen. But these are my top 3 picks for the Women's Rumble. Bayley, Dakota, or Becky. Those are my top 3 picks. So, yeah. Because I'm going with story. Now I know y'all thinking, well, Liv and Rhea has a story. But guys, you know WWE and you know what WWE is going to do. WWE is going to book Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley at the Elimination Chamber in Australia. And she's going to eventually end up losing. And I know it sucks, but it is what it is. I just don't think WWE is I just don't think Liv Morgan is a high priority for WWE. I just don't think that. And I don't see it that way. And it's just the truth. So yeah. You think Sasha's entering? She could, but I'm not gonna believe anything until I see it. So yeah. But I just don't think WWE sees Liv Morgan as a high priority. Now, I heard something from PWI Insider saying, she is penciled for a big storyline at WrestleMania. Well, okay, then what is Becky going to do then? Is Becky going to wrestle Jade Cargill at WrestleMania? No, because that should honestly be reserved for Bianca. Honestly, if you're thinking about it. Guys, you can't leave. WWE is not going to leave Bianca off the they're not going to leave Bianca Belair. They're not going to leave Becky Lynch off the show. And they're not going to, and if Sasha and Naomi comes back, they're not leaving one of them off the show either. They're all going to be on the WrestleMania card, no matter what. And this could be the best WrestleMania women's wise for women's matches if they just play the cards right. and actually book properly. Stuff that makes sense. So they're not going to leave Becky off this card. You're not leaving. You're not leaving Bianca off the show. And if Mercedes comes back, you're damn sure not leaving her off the show. You're not leaving these people off the card. Because you can't. You simply can't leave them off the card. I know I just broke you Liv Morgan Stan's hearts, but you know, it is what it is. And it's the way I think WWE sees it. I don't think WWE would book Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. I just don't see it that way. And if you are offended, then it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm sorry, but I just don't see it happening. They teased Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley so many times. You're going to have to go with that match at WrestleMania. I'm sorry, but I just can't see them booking Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. I just can't. So yeah, my 3 picks for the Royal Rumble is Bayley, Dakota, and Becky. Even though I don't want to see Becky win, this is who I think WWE will go with. I was pitching Dakota to win since last year, so I'm not gonna change it. I'm not gonna switch up. I'm gonna keep it. Bayley, Dakota, or Becky. That's my top 3 predictions. Men's Royal Rumble match. All right, so here's my first scenario. Yeah, Jade Cargill, she'll be there too. She'll be there. In a Mania match, I don't know, but can she appear like a cameo or something like that? Yeah. All right, scenario number 1 for the Men's Royal Rumble. CM Punk. CM Punk is scenario number 1. It's kind of obviously written. Seth Rollins is still going to make WrestleMania. So CM Punk wins the Royal Rumble, eliminating Cody. And then you get CM Punk versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Night 1 main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. And CM Punk goes over. It's just plain and simple. So that's the night 1 main event. That should be the night 1 main event. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. So scenario number 1 is CM Punk. Scenario number 2. Gunther. Gunther should be scenario number 2 to win the Men's Royal Rumble. Gunther can win. He can go on to WrestleMania. He can challenge Seth Rollins for the title. And that could be the night 1 main event. Gunther versus Seth Rollins. Now, what does CM Punk do? I don't know what to go with Punk. Unless they can get a match with Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania, then if you could do CM Punk versus Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania, and then do Seth Rollins versus Gunther at WrestleMania, then we Gucci. We're cool. So yes, scenario number 2 is Gunther. Scenario number 3. I don't want to see this happen. I always put the third scenario is what I think WWE might do, but I don't want to see it happen scenario. So scenario number 3 is Cody. I don't want to see Cody winning for back-to-back years. I don't think it should happen. It's not needed. So, yeah, I don't think Cody should win. But I think I can see WWE giving it to Cody for a second straight year. Because they keep bringing up, oh, we haven't had back-to-back Royal Rumble winners since Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, do I think WWE would do that to Cody and give him back-to-back Rumbles? Yes, I can see them doing that. And I can see them as another way of Cody Rhodes getting to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Is by having him winning the Royal Rumble for a second straight year. Now, if you're going to have him win the Rumble for a second straight year, he has to come out at number 1 or number 2. He has to be a top 5 entrant. He can't be coming out number 30 just like he did last year. So he has to be an early entrant into the Royal Rumble at number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. So that's the only way you can put us off with Cody. He has to be an early entrant in the Royal Rumble. He can't be number 28, number 29, number 30. No. He has to be an early entrant into the Men's Royal Rumble if y'all gonna pull this off. But I don't want to see it happen. I don't want to see Cody win the Rumble. So my three scenarios for the men is CM Punk, Gunther, or Cody. Cody's my third scenario. Gunther's my second scenario. And CM Punk is my first scenario. But the only way I think it would be acceptable if he comes out at number 1 or number 2. That's the only way it would be acceptable for Cody to win again. Exactly, Alex. Yeah, that would be the only acceptable way Cody can win. He has to be number 1 or number 2. He can't be coming out at number 29 and number 30 just like last year. Because you had many fans pissed off about that last year. And you pissed half your audience off last year when he came out at number 30. You pissed off your audience last year for real. For that crap. So yeah. So yeah, man, but that's it, man. That's it for the predictions. That's it for everything. That's all I have for right now. We'll be back live at about 2 hours for SmackDown. So, go chill for a little bit. Whatever you gotta do. We'll come back in like 2 hours. So yeah, that's all for my Royal Rumble predictions. So for my final Royal Rumble predictions, I got Logan Paul over Kevin Owens. I got Roman Reigns retaining his Universal title. Women's Royal Rumble, my 3 scenarios are Bayley, Dakota, or Becky. And my 3 scenarios for the Men's Royal Rumble are CM Punk, Gunther, and Cody. So those are my scenarios for both men's and women's Royal Rumble. So yeah, man. Anyway, guys, SmackDown will be live in about 2 hours. So come back at 6:55, 7 o'clock for the SmackDown live watch along, and I will see you guys there. All right, take care. I'll see.